Mike, I don't know if you can hear me, but my music's not playing.
Oh, your mercy never fails me.
My music's not playing. I don't know what's playing.
I've been held
playing on here, but it's not
your
coming
hands from the
out.
moment.
This one in.
Well, that's the charge cable. Plug this one in.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. So that's a little too loud. So this would be my Wait. Mike, how do you turn the lights down at the end? I have the key in my hand, but I'm not sure. Turn the lights down. You do it. At the very end, I'm going to turn down so it's not in their eyes. Just put it where I can do it. So I'll just push it there. Okay, just leave it in there then. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'll try. There we go. Well, good morning and welcome to Yoga for the Back. So today is our last Yoga for the Back in our summer series. So I might pick it up a little on the challenge part, but remember that this is your practice. So it's very, very important that you only move in ways that feel good for your back and for your body. Let us begin with the heart of yoga, which is breath. So close your eyes and just begin to breathe. And as you breathe with your eyes closed, begin to clear your mind of any clutter. So it's important that we just get rid of any expectations, any negativity, and just come to a place where you can focus on your mind, your body, and your spirit. For me, I invite the Holy Spirit in at this time so that I can reflect on whatever my intention is, which is usually one of the fruits of the Spirit. So let us just be quiet, be still, and breathe. I encourage you to go into a purifying breath, inhaling deep in through the nose, all the way down the air goes into your belly, and then exhaling through the mouth, a nice long exhale. So as you clear your mind, maybe an intention has come to your mind that you can meditate on or focus on during your practice today. However, it's not necessary to have an intention. Maybe you enjoy just being in the moment, and that's fine too. Let us return to normal breath in through the nose and out through the nose as we open our eyes, sitting tall. Take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up, and exhale, hands over, heart center, and namaste. Inhale to float the hands up. Reach the arms out as long as you can. This is just a big stretch. Just inviting breath and energy into your soul. Inhale and exhale. Let your breath guide your movement through your practice today. One more big stretch. Inhale and exhale. And float your fingers all the way down to your mat with long arms as we go into our side stretches, lifting the left palm up, reaching up for strength, and over for flexibility, alternating side to side, making sure that you reach up as high as you can before you tip over. Two more side stretches, inhaling and exhaling with each stretch. Let's rest our hands by our side. Grow as tall as you can through the crown of your head. Maybe even pull your belly into your spine through your whole practice, keeping your core engaged and protecting your spine by just pulling it in pulling the belly into the spine. Let's go into shoulder shrugs with breath. Inhale up and exhale, push the shoulders down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale up, taking it around to the back and a big shoulder roll to the back. Keeping your heart lifted, keeping your gaze lifted, and knowing that the slower you move your joints, the more tension you release. One more big shoulder roll all the way down, around into the back, keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Growing a little taller through the crown of the head as we let our left earlobe fall towards our left shoulder with a heavy head. On the next breath, lift the head up and let's look over the right shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder. Exhale, come back to the center, grow a little bit taller as we let our right earlobe fall towards our right shoulder with a heavy head. Inhale on the exhale, bring it back to the center, only to look over the left shoulder with breath. Inhale and exhale. Let's bring our legs out in front of us for staff pose. If you're in a chair, you would come to the edge of the chair and let your legs be as long as it feels good for you. It's okay to bend your knees if you need to, but we can ground our legs by pointing our toes up to the ceiling. Use your fingers to grow tall and you're in staff pose, where maybe you stay. Maybe you want a little bit more, you can float your fingers up, reaching for the ceiling, keeping your gaze lifted, hinge forward about 2 or 3 inches, and just pause and breathe for 3 breaths. You can stay here, but if you want to go a little bit deeper, forward fold, it's okay to bend the knees here. You're reaching for your toes. Your spine is long, it is not rounded. So you're still growing through the crown of the head as you bring your chest towards your thighs. And breathe. 3 breaths here. You'll feel the stretch all the way down the spine. On the next breath, let's go and round the spine up, articulating the spine, stacking one vertebra on top of the other at the time, and lifting the chin. Pulling your left knee in. Spinal rotation, it's important to be tall as you rotate. We're going to take our left arm around that right knee. The right arm around the left knee. And take the left arm around to the back. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, and breathe. So you're using that bent knee to stay tall. Breathe as deep as you can, feeling the lung and the rib cage and the thoracic spine expand. Inhale on the exhale, slowly come back around to the center and just let that left knee drop down for half staff pose. Once again, you can stay here nice and tall or float your fingers up. Maybe you hinge and pause there. Maybe you forward fold. Listening to your body, only moving in ways that your body wants to move. Inhale on the exhale, begin to round the spine up. As we go into seated butterfly, soles of the feet come together. If you have back pain, push your feet away. If not, pull them in as far as it feels good for you to sit tall. And if you still want a little bit more, float the elbows over the inner knees with the long spine, hinge forward, and then nod your chin and let your spine round as your nose floats towards your toes. Straighten out your left leg for half staff pose on this side, or maybe you stay. Maybe you float your fingers up and hinge and stay there, or maybe you go into a forward fold. And breathe. Wherever you are, 3 breaths. On the next breath, let's go on and roll the spine back up. And we're going to transition to our hands and knees for cat and cow. So a lot that we do on our buttocks, we're going to go onto the knees and do. So if you can't come to your knees, you can stay seated for your cat and cow. For cat, we round the back like a Halloween cat, gazing to our belly, lifting up our shoulder blades, pulling our belly into our spine. And then as you drop your belly towards the earth, soften the elbows, the wrists, and the shoulders. Lift your gaze, lift your heart, and inhale, filling the lungs up with air. Exhale to round back into cat pose. And inhale into cow pose. Imagine your spine is like a wave, and you're just rolling through your spine. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hold your cat pose as we do hip circles. It's called around the world. Hips will sway to the left, then over the left heel, over the right heel, and all the way back up to the center, switch directions. If you're in a chair, you would be doing upper body circles instead of lower body circles. Let's do 2 more sets. Inhale and exhale. Keep your shoulders and elbows and wrists soft. Inhale and exhale. And 1 more set. Inhale and exhale. And last big hip circle. Inhale and exhale. Let's drop into child's pose. So your toes are flat, toenails are down, so not curled under but flat. Dropping your buttocks towards your heels, extended child's pose, extending your hands away from your shoulders, dropping your elbows, dropping your forehead. Maybe you use a block here or not. And breathe 3 breaths in child's pose. On the next breath, come on back up to hands and knees. As we float our left arm out in front of our left shoulder, take your left pinky up to the ceiling. We're going to go right into threading the needle. So as you drop your left hand, bring it under your heart, through your arm, dropping the left ear and shoulder to your mat. Maybe you pick up your right hand and put it on the small of your back for a little more. Let's breathe 3 breaths and threaded needle. On the next breath, come back to your hands and knees. And before we thread the needle on the other side, we're going to do some small hip circles, but this time you don't drop your buttocks. So they're very small and very slow. The slower and the smaller you circle your hips, the more tension you will release from the lower spine. Switch directions. And exhale. This time we'll float our right arm out in front of our right shoulder, taking the right pinky up to the ceiling with your gaze and threading the needle, dropping the right hand under the heart and through the left arm. Dropping the ear and the shoulder down, maybe picking up your left hand and putting it on the small of your back or not. And breathe. 3 breaths here. Next breath, come back to hands and knees. I'm going to show you puppy pose. It's a modification for downward dog. We can all go into puppy pose. Slide your left hand out and your right hand, and then drop your ears between your arms and you're in puppy pose. For downward dog, we would just tuck our toes under, lift your knees, lift your sits bones, gaze to your knees. Keep your eyes on your knees, and we can begin to pedal, dropping the left heel, bending the right knee, dropping the right heel, bending the left knee, left and right and left
And right, both heels pressing down towards the mat. Keeping your eyes on your knees. Slowly walk your feet to your hands. Bend your knees and let your chest rest on your thighs. You're hanging down like a rag doll with bent knees. And then slowly slide your hands up on top of your knees. Straighten your arms to gaze to the front of your mat. And breathe here before we come up to standing. Now we don't want to swing up to standing. We want to work with our spine. So nod your chin and begin to round up to tall standing. So go slow. Beautiful. I love that you're working with your spine. All right, let's go in and warm up a little bit. So if you wanted to stand up behind the chair, you could hold on to the chair if you wish, or you could stay seated in the chair for our moonflowers. So your feet should be wider than your shoulders. Then if you don't have knee injuries, you can turn your toes out slightly, because usually women are built to naturally have their toes turned out. So you're working with your body. Go on and float your arms up. And on moonflowers, I'm going to do modified without the knees. Inhale and exhale. So it's about breath. Now maybe you do a little bend in the knees and exhale, or maybe you want a lot more, you go deeper. It's your moonflower. Let your breath guide you. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's go into sunflowers. Just make a sunflower with your hands. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you go down a little. Maybe you go down a lot. Inhale and exhale. It's big movement here. Inhale. One more. This time, bring your hands all the way above your head. This is called upward salute. You can even gaze upward. And then float your arms out to a T, standing straddle split. Let's go in and swing our heels out so our feet are now parallel. Good morning pose, hinge halfway down. So you don't go below your hips. Inhale. On the exhale, come back up to standing straddle split. We're going to turn our right foot out to the side. Then bend your right knee. The bigger the space between both feet, the bigger your base and the easier it is to balance. We're going to rotate our upper body to the right to look down our right arm. Warrior 2. Peaceful warrior, drop your back hand, flip your front palm up, and begin to reach up towards the ceiling. Peaceful warrior. So if you had an intention or a reflection, this is where you would reflect or pray or meditate. For me, I'm a believer of Jesus Christ, and I just invite the Holy Spirit to come into my being and just focus on Jesus. Next, come back into long arms, warrior 2. As we move into side angle, you can drop either your hand or your elbow to that front bent knee. Float your back hand up and gaze down to your big toe. This is side angle. If you want it more, you could slide that right hand down. Maybe you even use a block, so you can bring the floor to you with the block. Inhale. On the exhale, come back into warrior 2 to reset. As we go into triangle pose, this pose is really good for the back. So this is one that you should try if you do have any back issues. Go on and straighten your right knee. Hand your upper body to the right, dropping your hand either to your thigh or your shin, and float your back hand up, gazing down to your big toe. And then go on and bend your knee and come back into warrior 2. Now we're going to go on and turn that right foot forward. Whoop. We're going to go into revolving triangle before we go into our warriors on the other side. So hinge halfway down. You can drop your left hand either to a block or down to the floor as you float your right hand and gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale, come back to long arms as you transition, bringing the right hand down to the floor of the block as you float your left hand and gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale. On the exhale, back to long arms, standing back up to standing straddle split as we turn our left foot out to the side, bending your left knee, and rotating to look down your left hand. Warrior 2.
dropping your back hand, flipping your front palm, peaceful warrior, reaching that left hand up towards the ceiling with your gaze only as far as it feels good for you. The more that you reach, the more stretch you will feel. On the next breath, come back into warrior two. As we transition to triangle, you can either bring your hand to your thigh or your elbow for side triangle pose. Float your back hand up, gaze down to your big toe to protect your neck. Maybe you want more, you can slide your hand down to a block or right to the mat. And breathe. On the next breath, come back into your warrior two to reset as we move into triangle. Go on and straighten out that left knee. Hinge your upper body to the left, dropping your left hand either to your thigh or your shin. Either one works, floating the back hand up and breathing. Go on and bend that left knee, coming back into warrior two. As we turn our left foot forward, we're back into standing straddle split. Go on and bring your arms into gold post arms as we move into goddess pose. Pretend there's a chair behind you, maybe a bar stool, sit back into it, and you're in goddess pose, pulling your belly into your spine, so you're engaging your core here. Now we can add to it with some cactus claps. Elbows and palms come together. Inhale. As you exhale, open your heart. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Straighten your arms. Bring your hands over your heart center. Take your heels in. Take your big toes in. Take your heels in. Now this next pose is a deep yoga pose, squat. It's not for everybody. You can actually use a block if you need to, but you may just stay here and close your eyes and just meditate or reflect, or you can drop all the way down. See, I don't even reach it, but you could turn the block this way if you wanted to, or not. So this is a hip opener. This is excellent for your back, because if your hip flexors are tight, then your lower back is going to be affected. So you're either all the way down or you're standing up. Inhale. On the exhale, if you're down on your squat, drop your hands, swing your heels out, and roll up with your spine one vertebra at a time. Inhale. Exhale, hands over, heart center. We're going to do some swan dives, so I encourage you to come to the front of your mat. Swan dives are all about your movement with your breath. So maybe you do have an intention that you can just pull into your whole body, mind, and spirit here. So soft knees, inhale to float the hands up. You swan dive, hips go to the back, and you hinge forward, and then your palms rotate forward. Bend your knees like you have a heavy load that you're about to pick up. Maybe it's a load of love, of patience, of kindness, whatever your intention is, and bring it from heaven, from above, to your heart center. Let's add our breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, swan dive. Exhale, reverse swan. Inhale, exhale all the way. On our next one, we're going to keep our fingers in front of our toes and go back to our hands and knees. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees. Take your hands down, step back to hands and knees. We're going to go into a kneeling pigeon pose next. So I'm going to break it down because I find it to be very challenging. You can slide your left knee up as far as you can reach it, and then wiggle your left foot from under your body towards the right, and then push your right foot as far back as you can, ideally setting that left buttock onto the mat. Now you can also use a block here. So a block really helps with kneeling pigeon. Right? Let's see, I'm caught up. There we go. Now from there, we can actually drop our elbows, and you can drop your forehead to your hands or to a block, or maybe you make one fist on top of the other, and you're a kneeling pigeon. So you should feel this through your piriformis, through your buttocks, which also affect your spine. So some people have sciatica, or maybe even IT band issues, or piriformis, or medial glute issues. This is a great stretch for that, because if you do have those issues, it's coming from your back most of the time. So it's important to take care of your whole body, to take care of your back. On the next breath, slowly going and lift up back to straight arms, bringing your knees back together and maybe just wiggling side to side before we do kneeling pigeon on the other side. So next we'll just slide that right knee forward and then wiggle your right foot towards the left side of the mat and then push your left foot as far back as you can. You can keep your heart lifted, or maybe you drop down, it's more relaxing. Maybe you use a block for your forehead, or a pillow, or a towel, or just one fist on top of the other, and breathe. On the next breath, we're going to slowly come back up, but this time we're going to take that back leg forward so both feet are out in front and we're sitting on our buttocks. I want to pull your knees as close towards your body as you can. Use your hands behind your knees to grow nice and tall. This is a posture stretch, and you'll feel the long muscles in your back tighten up. I know that's not a good feeling necessarily, but it is strengthening and lengthening your posture muscles. So from here, we can roll past our tailbone, rounding our spine like that cat pose. And this is how we'll transition onto our back. Just continue to roll back, pick up your feet, and roll back, taking your knees into your chest, closing your eyes, and gently rocking side to side. I should have told you to grab your block, because what I would like to do is bring your feet down to the mat with your knees bent and lift your buttocks and put the block under your buttocks or lower back with your knees bent. So I'll just come around and check to be sure everyone's in the right position, and maybe I can turn the lights down. So your arms are relaxed by your sides. If it hurts, take it away or move it. It should release any pain in the back. Let us breathe 5 breaths here. Now, see if you can bring your knees towards your chest and bring your legs up the wall. So your toes will be pointing up towards the ceiling. This is another way that back therapy is done, by bringing your legs up the wall with a block to support you. So this again should feel really good. Let us breathe 5 breaths here. On the next breath, keeping the block where it is, float your feet back down to the mat with your knees bent, and we're going to go into supine butterfly with the block under our lower back. So the soles of the feet come together and the knees fall away from each other. If that is not comfortable, you can lift your buttocks and remove the block. So here, just let your right knee fall to the right and let your left knee fall to the left. Press the soles of the feet together. All 4 corners of the soles of the feet are gently, softly pressing into each other. And then to take it another step farther to release any pain in the lower back, go in and push your lower back into the block or to the mat wherever you are, and pull your belly into your spine. So when you pull your belly into your spine and push the lower back into the mat or the block, you're going to tilt your pelvis up, and it will release any awkwardness you might feel in the lower back. One more breath here, and then we'll bring our knees back together. Lift your hips and remove the block to the side. And go on and take your arms out into a T with your palms down. Your knees are bent. Separate your feet about as wide as your shoulders and let both knees fall towards the floor on the left as you gaze to the right, letting your right knee be heavier than your left knee. Spinal rotation. On the next breath, slowly float your gaze and your knees back to the center as the knees now fall to the other side and you gaze to the left. Once again, it's important to let that right knee be, or left knee be heavier, the top knee heavier than the bottom knee. On the next breath, float the knees and the gaze back to the center. Bring your feet a little bit closer together, maybe about sits bones width apart. Slide your hands back onto your mat. We're going to go into some pelvic tilts. So first we'll start by pressing our lower back into the mat and belly into the spine, and you'll feel the arch come out of your back, that natural arch. You're tilting your pelvis up here. Imagine your pelvis is like a soup bowl. Let's tip it in the other direction by lifting the arch back into your back and rolling the pelvis in the other direction. Let's add breath. Inhale to press the back into the mat, tipping once again in the other direction, pulling the belly into the spine. And on the exhale, roll the pelvis, tip the bowl of soup in the other direction. Let's do 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Remember, the slower you move, the more tension you release. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Let's just go on and tilt the pelvis in the other direction. Inhale, pressing the lower back into the mat, belly into the spine. As you begin to peel the spine up 1 vertebra at a time, comes up with a big inhale. And then on your exhale, you slowly peel the spine down 1 vertebra at a time. So we're just working through the spine. Inhale to tilt the pelvis up and peel up. And exhale to peel down. And 2 more. Inhale, peeling up. And exhale, peeling down. On the next one, the last one, we'll peel up, but on the exhale, lift your hips a little higher without really arching your back, but lengthening through your body from your hip bone to your knees. Imagine your knees were trying to touch a wall in front of you. This is strengthening the lower back. Let us breathe. 5 breaths in bridge pose. On the next breath, slowly peel the spine down, 1 vertebra at a time. Then release the pelvis. Go on and lift up your left foot, pulling your left knee into your chest. Wiggle your left foot, maybe do some ankle circles. Be sure that your left foot is relaxed. We're going to circle that left knee in a big circle. So if you can slide your fingers on top of your kneecap, your circle may be bigger than if you were holding on to your shin. So soft, gentle circles. Switching direction of your circles, loosening up the lower left side of your back and even into your hip joint. So as you circle the knee, you're releasing synovial fluid and all of those joints. That will help you move better and feel better. Go on and pull your left knee towards your chest and bring just the left leg up the wall. Bringing your hand behind your knee or your thigh to support it. Letting your left leg be weightless while the rest of your body is grounded.
if you want a little more stretch, you can lift your head, chin on your chest, and slide your hands up towards your ankle, pulling your nose and your knee towards each other, stretching the hamstring. So tight hamstrings also can lead to lower back pain. Inhale, and on the exhale, roll the head back down. If you're up, float that left foot down. As you pick up your right foot, pulling your right knee in towards your chest, wiggling your right foot, doing some ankle circles with your right foot, slow ankle circles in both directions. And then bringing your fingertips on top of your knee so you can circle that knee, that leg, and a soft, big, gentle circle. The bigger and the slower the circle, the bigger the massage. And switch the direction of your circles. And then go in and pull that knee a little closer to your chest, bringing that right leg up the wall with your hand either behind your hamstring or your knee. It's okay to bend your knee, but ideally you want to straighten it as much as you can, letting the right leg be weightless while the body is grounded. Then if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can lift your head, chin on your chest, sliding your hands up towards your ankle and slowly bringing your knee towards your nose. It's okay to bend it and then slowly try to straighten it. It's important that you work with your body. On the next breath, go on and roll the head back down and go on and drop that right foot. Let it dangle. Let your left knee and your right knee both get pulled into your chest and gently rock your knees side to side. Then bringing your hands, fingertips back on top of your kneecaps, keeping your knees super glued together. Circle your knees in a big, soft circle. Remember to go slow. Be sure your legs and your feet are relaxed here. And then switch the direction of your circles. Then pull your knees up towards your chest and pull your knees away from each other, out to the sides, down and back together. So knee circles away from each other, soft and gentle. If you feel any tightness in your lower back, try to press your lower back into the mat and belly into the spine, engaging your core. Let's switch the direction of our circles. Push the knees down, open them apart, away from each other, around and back together. One more big circle, and we'll end up pulling the left knee towards the left shoulder and the right knee towards the right shoulder. This is called modified happy baby. You can pull your knees away from each other and towards the mat. Maybe you go into a full happy baby, lifting your big toes over your knees and grabbing hold of your big toes. Maybe you rock side to side. And then we'll release that, bring the soles of your feet back down to your mat, and let the left foot come over to the left edge of your mat and the right foot to the right edge. Take your arms out into a T with your palms up. Inhale to let the knees float towards each other. Maybe they touch. And on the exhale, open the knees away from each other as far apart as it feels good for your body. Inhale to go in, letting the knees touch. And exhale, let them move away. And one more. Inhale and exhale. And now we're going to go into final Savasana. I encourage you to take each of your blocks and put them under your knees. You can turn them on the side to make it even a little bit higher so that your back is totally relaxed. So you would have 2 blocks. Maybe you have 1 block under both knees. So arrange the blocks under your knee. Close your eyes. Arms are in a T. Palms are up. And just totally relax. So Savasana is about total relaxation of the body, the mind, and the breath. So try to really relax, because the more that you relax, the more energy that will flow through your body, the more healing that can take place in your body. make sure that your legs and your feet are relaxed in this pose. The blocks under your knees. If your back hurts any, bend your knees. And breathe. And when you breathe, imagine that you're imprinting your spine onto your mat. As you inhale, you're going from your tailbone up to your neck. And as you exhale, maybe through the mouth, you're imprinting the spine back down from the neck to the tailbone. So it kind of sounds like this. Inhaling nice and deep. And exhaling long exhale. Continue your purifying breath, inhaling in through the nose. The air goes so deep, your tummy rises high. And then exhale through the mouth. Continue to breathe this purifying, healing breath as you relax your toes and your heels, your calves, thighs, your buttocks, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Let your shoulders just relax. Relax your arms, the insides of your elbows, the insides of your wrist, the palms of your hands, your fingers, your thumbs, your hip bones, and your pelvis, your belly, your rib cage, your chest, all the way into your neck, your scalp, and all the muscles in your face. Relax them. Relax your forehead and your eyebrows, your eyelids, your cheekbones, your nose, your chin, your ears, your teeth. Unclench them. Maybe let them part. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips and just be. Be in the moment and breathe. In this relaxed state, I invite you to open up your heart and let your heart be filled with love today. Love of yourself, love of others, love of the unlovable. May your hearts be filled with love. And may your hearts be filled with grace in all circumstances. And gratitude. A thankful heart brings a joyful heart. May your hearts be filled with joy today. And may your hearts be filled with peace. The peace and understanding that comes from our Lord Jesus. May you share the peace that you feel today with others around you. Peace be with you today. And you can either stay laying, because I know you're in a very comfortable position, or you are welcome to come back to seated as we close our practice with prayer request. And if you're watching online, either now or in the future, you can always jot down in the notes section, in the comment section, any prayer requests so that we can have our prayer team pray for you. Otherwise, you can yell it out in this room. You can yell it out silently. You can yell it out wherever you are, and we can just pray for each other and the Spirit. Let us pray. For those in Haiti and those all around the world that are just suffering, there's so much suffering in our world. I just lift the people up to you and just ask that you would bring them love and comfort and what they need to be
a whole person, to be healthy, to be your children, Lord. Yes, please hear our prayers, Lord. And Lord, I just lift up all those that are suffering with COVID and this pandemic, and we just ask that you would bring healing to our country and healing to the people, and especially those that are sick. Let us open our eyes, sit nice and tall, take your arms out long with your palms up. I hope your back is feeling better after this series, and I've enjoyed it so much. Thank you for being here. You can pass the website on to your friends if you think they may enjoy it. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over, heart center. Namaste. And as soon as I know what our fall schedule will be, I will let you know. I'll be out of town like mid-September to mid-October, so it probably won't be until after that. But I will definitely let you know. So thank you for being here. Thank you.